Alright, Sean. Alright, buddy. I've come to take you home, man. I expected more violence.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
Okay. This is some serious tech.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute.
Oh, shit.
This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research,
Grief.
countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Sean, open the door.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
The fuck?
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing.
Motherfucker.
The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son. to Sean.
God. All we're missing are the teacups and the white rabbit.
Ah, levity. Excellent. A sure sign that you adapt quickly to stressful environments. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
They stole you. Kidnapped you. Wasn't right.
Right, wrong, irrelevant. It was necessary. The Institute believed humanity's future depended on it. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Well, that doesn't exactly ease my mind, buddy.
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Okay.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
It seems like a strange choice. On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean.
Perhaps someday our synths can reclaim the Commonwealth.
Well, shit. Did you see that coming? Of course there had to be a plot twist. I don't know. I don't know about the Institute. I mean, he claims to have humanity's best interest at heart, but he seems to have that strange racist attitude towards synths, like they're not really people. But that synth that we met at Green Tech, she was a person. He seems to have a scientific coldness about him that is similar to the militant coldness of the Brotherhood. But are the Railroad really much better? And maybe we need to catch up with Preston Garvey and see what his agenda is, because what are the Minutemen going to think of this place? On the other hand, what's best for the Wastes? I mean, this Institute, we need to explore it, because it looks like the kind of tech they have here is going to be able to bring, you know, humanity back to where it was. You know, they've got all these bioscience divisions. Maybe they can start cleaning the water supply like in Fallout 3. You know, what are the Railroad really going to be able to do going forward? They'll be able to save the synths, but then what? So this is it, really. This is the end of the run. The only thing left is to decide what to do. Now, I know that one thing I haven't done, because I've focused so much on the story, is we haven't really explored too much of the factions. So the Railroad, we've pretty much seen everything that they have to offer, but we haven't done any of their quests. The Brotherhood, there's more to the Prydwen. There's more people there that we can talk to. There's a whole nother level of it, in fact, that we haven't needed to go to. Preston Garvey of the Minutemen has given us a mission to retake an old fort to be able to give the Minutemen a stronghold. And that's part of their endgame quest as well. So, at this point, we need to decide how we want to end the game, and basically who will be around to take over Boston at the end of the game. So there's 4 options, obviously. We can side with the Minutemen, the Institute, the Brotherhood, or the Railroad. But there is a 5th option. And in the 5th option, I won't spoil it too much, but the 5th option may or may not be the best choice, depending on how you look at it. It's the one with the least amount of death, but it is the most difficult to set up. So let me know what you want to do next. For the rest of this video, I'm going to walk around and explore the Institute and get to know it. And then if you have any further questions about the other factions, let me know. And if we need to do any side quests, or you want me to explore around and talk to more people, that's fine, we can do that too. The ending that I am personally happiest with is the 5th option. I don't know if I've already screwed it up yet or not, but if you don't really care and just want to see an end to this game, we can do the 5th ending, which may not be the most spectacular one, but it is the one that I prefer, and I would outline why as we go. So that is enough talking from me for now. Let's explore this crazy place, the Institute, and meet some of its people, and decide whether the good outweighs the bad of this place. Who knows, maybe we can turn it around. There's so many ways to think about this. Alright, let's explore.
Call this a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust? Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful. Synths aren't human beings, but supposedly they're the future of humanity. I'll never understand it.
Doctor,
You know what happens when people get robots to do all their work? They get fat and lazy, that's what. Real people doing real thinking and real work. That's the future I want.
if that's how you feel, why not leave?
Because we could do so much more. But no, everyone is obsessed with these damn synths. It's wasted potential. That's what it is. In any case, I suppose I should say, welcome. Perhaps a fresh perspective will do some good around here.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still. There. All done. You can return to your duties, and remember to record every symptom you experience in detail.
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
All this advanced technology, and we still can't cure the common cold.
It's an honor.
I like the look of that icon.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks again.
Of course.
Hi, Doc.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I guess I just wasn't ready to die yet.
Well, that's understandable. The will to survive is the most basic human instinct. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, and at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it.
That is a good point. What will this place be 100 years from now? It doesn't have to be creepy. 25% faster fire rate, 50% faster reload, a plasma rifle.
It was probably just a glitch in the nervous system. The final control software.
So you were there the day the bombs fell.
But her eyes were moving as well. Involuntary twitching and rapid eye movements while sleeping can only mean one thing, Max. You just don't want to admit to yourself what it means.
If you're about to launch into one of your passionate speeches about artificial sentience and machines with souls, don't bother. I've heard enough of them by now. I can write them down from memory.
But we can't just ignore the question. If a synth can dream, why can't it have a soul? And if a synth has a soul, then it is a living person by every standard we can measure. Of course it is far more comfortable to think of them as machines, so we can do what we want with them.
If you disapprove of the work we do here, Dr. Day, you know where to find the teleporter.
Just a moment. I never said that. I'm simply trying to open everyone's eyes to new possibilities.
Well, it's an unwanted distraction. We're men of science, not philosophers. You do well to remember that. The synths aren't just Father's legacy. They're his gift
Well,
to
you
humanity.
need to be philosophers, dude.
Excuse me, Doctor.
You've arrived at a momentous time. Our third-generation synths are a true breakthrough. The culmination of centuries of research. It's no exaggeration to say that they're superior in almost every way to human beings.
What makes them superior?
The list of improvements is exhaustive. I can talk for an hour and still not cover all of it. Imagine what you could accomplish if you could live without fear of hunger or disease. Imagine what you could create if you could spend every waking moment of your life as you saw fit, with no need of sleep. Like I said, a momentous time.
But are they human or
We're all
not?
looking forward
You
to
know?
working.
Where did that other guy go? That is an interesting entry. That's VATS. That's VATS. Am I a synth? Because I can see VATS?
In light of recent events, we've been asked to take a look at the behavioral mapping of the Gen 3s.
I see. Another of Dr. Ao's manipulative power plays. Well, he's wrong. The Gen 3s are functioning just as Father's work.
SRB doesn't agree. Statistically, the Gen 3s have shown an increase in autonomic behavior, suggesting a malfunction in the latest models.
I assure you, Doctor, that is not a malfunction. We're quite fortunate to have the synths aid us.
The Patriot Insider?
Hey, Doc.
Ah, it's you. You're finally with us. I'd just like to apologize for any trouble our synths may have caused for you on your way here. They, of course, couldn't be told of your identity, and they have very specific protocols for protecting themselves and Institute interests, most of which I designed myself. Not to make problems for you, though. Will you be staying with us then?
Sure, slightly distracted by what's going on behind you, but sure.
I'm thinking it over.
Well, I hope you do decide to stay. It would mean a great deal to Sean. If you require anything, especially as it pertains to synths, please let me know.
Hi, Doc.
Another lovely day, isn't it?
I can't imagine a day on the surface. It sounds like a nightmare.
Child singing. It's just remarkable.
Hello. Welcome. Please, step this way for processing.
Sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do. I hope all your needs are being seen to. You just let me know if you're not.
Greetings, sir.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
You smell like you've been above ground.
Dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
All
always be vigilant. We have many enemies.
It's interesting that the railroad wiped a synth, and that synth ended up as a raider. But interesting that when they're mem wiped, they end up becoming raiders. Is the railroad doing a good thing? Oh, man. All these people, some of whom I've met. Sons of bitches.
Hey, Doc.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping...
Are they?
That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I guess I just got lucky.
That's hardly helpful. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
All this must be a little overwhelming for you.
Yeah, you don't say.
The Directorate should take the synth escapes more seriously.
Hi.
I swear I spend half my time smoothing the feathers that Justin ruffles. We need to be able to collaborate with the other divisions, and that's a lot harder when they're always angry at us.
What's Justin doing that's causing friction?
Oh, he's just pushy and demanding. He thinks his problem should be everyone's biggest concern. I have to admit, though, the other divisions have never taken our needs as seriously as they should. Guess they see us as a necessary evil or something. It's really not fair. Oh, just listen to me. It's the first chance we've had to get acquainted, and all I want to do is complain. In any case, it was good to meet you.
Excuse me, I've got reports to deliver.
Sometimes you have to lean on the other departments.
Interrogation chamber much? This is a creepy place.
So much research, so little time.
Yeah? Excuse me.
Yeah?
Well, that was productive.
Rushed work is sloppy at best, and deadly at worst.
Agreed.
If you ask me, we're only scratching the surface with the latest synths.
Doc.
Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing detailed mental comparisons.
What kinds of blueprints?
Mostly components for a new plasma pistol concept I've been toying with. High-energy weapons are sort of a hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us.
This is day 8 of Trial 6. The last week has been very productive, but exhausting. I think we'll need a break after this. Benet has done some really marvelous work with the personality mesh. It's almost too good. The responses map almost identically to expectations, some of the most lifelike I've seen. Of course, it's not really Sean. None of his memories are in there. That, even now, would be a step too far. It's starting to have an effect on the team, I think. I know I've been caught up in the moment once or twice. Just a second or two, forgetting that he's not a real boy. Still, I think we'll need to consider restricting him to the lab only for the moment. I'm well aware that others are put off by his presence. If I were slightly more arrogant, I might consider that a sign of success.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced Systems, Special Projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A Courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Is everything okay, Dr. Lee? You seem pretty tense.
Yes, things are... It's fine. I'm sorry, I don't socialize much. I prefer to focus on my work.
You had time to examine my latest reports on Batch 274? Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations in Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. And those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right. Most men lack the patience to observe and document plant growth.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, I'm sure that whatever you have to say is very interesting, but now simply isn't a good time.
Working on something important?
All of my work is important. Now, I'm quite finished. I'd very much like to get back to these mental equations. They're difficult enough without the distractions.
Equations for what?
Honestly, you wouldn't understand them. Now, I'm afraid I must end this little chat, although it's been so very diverting.
Well, you're a blowhard.
Rosalind is as smart as she is beautiful. I just wish I could get her to notice me.
Hey.
You're gonna have to work pretty hard to impress anyone down here.
Dr. Holdren's Synth Gorilla project is showing promising results. I can't imagine
Synth
living on the
Gorilla?
surface. Sounds like a nightmare.
Seriously? Huh. You crazy bastards.
Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops.
Doctor.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project.
What's that guy
at this
freaking
point,
out about?
But the potential is exciting nonetheless.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in, and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out.
Please resist any urge you might feel to eat the specimens in the hydroponic garden.
FEV Lab? This is where Virgil wanted me to go.
Yes.
I don't like the look of that thing. I wouldn't want one of them to find me first.
Sweet.
Well, shit. They were making super mutants in here. It can't be all of the super mutants though, because there's only like 3 vats, but then again, who knows for how long they've been making them for. And I guess that's where Virgil came out.
Personal record, Dr. Brian Virgil. This will likely be my last recording. My requests to shut down the FEV program had repeatedly been denied. We've learned nothing useful in the last 10 years. insist on continuing it. If he won't see reason, then I have to take matters into my own hands. What we're doing, it's not right. It needs to stop. If anyone should find this after I'm gone, know that I never wanted to hurt anyone. Anyone! Do you understand me? I'm gonna make sure the whole program is shut down. If not for good, then at least for years to come. After that, I know what I'm about to do will be seen as a betrayal. Treason, he'll probably call it. So, I'm leaving. I have a plan, and if it works, I'll be somewhere safe. Somewhere not even the coursers can find me. Everything that we've done, the lives we've taken. If there is a God, may he have mercy on us all.
They were doing experiments on humans, likely taken from the wastes, most of them unsuccessful. I guess Shaun must have taken over after we killed Dr. Zimmer in Fallout 3. Now, what was it Virgil wanted us to find down here? Do we have... There it is. Advanced Systems Maintenance Room. Okay. Well, that concludes for now our tour of the Institute. My takeaway from it, I think, is that it's kind of an ambivalent kind of place. Very similar vibes to the Brotherhood of Steel, except where the Brotherhood of Steel are militant and kind of Luddite, actually. Even though they use technology, they want to safeguard it and make sure nobody else uses it. But these guys have more of a utopian vision, but their methods are questionable. At the same time, you know, there's good and bad here. And I think that's the takeaway that we have with all of the factions, right? So the Minutemen, you know, idealistic. Can they survive the wastes? I mean, they got taken out, and Preston Garvey is the only one left. Maybe they're just too idealistic and naive. Maybe they need something greater, like the Brotherhood or the Institute, to protect them. The Brotherhood of Steel, you know, not sure how I feel about Outer Maxon, but Scribe Halen, we need to talk more with Scribe Halen. She's a good person, you know, and there are some good people on board the Prydwen, and we can do another tour of the Prydwen if you think it's necessary. And the Railroad, again, kind of like the Minutemen, naive, idealistic. They'll save the synths, but then what? Are they then, the synths then going to go on and become raiders, like we saw in those computer entries? I mean, that's not useful for anybody, right? They're just wiping them and then setting them free. Maybe we need to look closer at exactly what the Railroad do, and we have quests that will allow us to do that. And then there's the Institute, and you know, with the Institute, there are some good people here. There are some people genuinely trying to make a difference. There's some wonderful tech here that would help the wastes, but there's some complete arseholes too. Who knows what the Brotherhood of Steel could be with different leadership? Who knows what the Institute could be under my leadership? I suspect that I'm being groomed to take over, if not work directly under Sean. So this is what I mean, you know, there's no right answer here. There's no easy decision. So if you need more context, let me know. If you're ready to make a call now, let me know, and we will decide which way we want to proceed. And the reason that's important is that if we want as many factions to survive as possible, I have to carefully set up that ending, and not agree to too much now. But if you have a faction in mind that you think is the right way to go, we can make that call. And there are always opportunities later on to switch allegiances. So, that's the end of the Fallout 4 run, until you let me know which way we proceed.